Well, my mother taught me a long time ago that when somebody does something for you that you couldn't do for yourself, the least you ought to do is tell them thank you. Now, in the church that I grew up in, the Spring Hill Missionary Baptist Church at 19371 Greenfield, when my pastor would say he died, people may have slept all service. They might have been slobbing at the mouth. You might have been passing notes in the back of the church. You might have been thinking about what you were going to do when church was over, thinking about what you were going to do when the week was to come. But when he would say he died, the deacons would nudge one another and say he's getting ready to close. The choir would stand up with a three-piece robe on and say he's getting ready to close. The ushers would stand at attention in the back of the church, so he's getting ready to close. And everybody would say when pastor declared he died, somebody would get happy and say yes, he died. Now the reason that they got happy wasn't just because Jesus died, but they came to the understanding that the reason he died was that he died for me. And I want somebody to realize this morning, you got to make it personal, that when we say he died, you got to realize he died for you. And so when I tell you this morning, you got to celebrate Jesus and him crucified. He died. Somebody ought to say for me. Thank you, Jesus. But that's not how the story ends. He died, and they put him in another man's tomb. Stayed dead all night Friday. Stayed dead all day Saturday. Stayed dead all night Saturday night. Low in the grave he lay. But early Sunday morning, he got up with all power in his hands. He's got you in his hands. He's got me in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. And we've got to give him praise. We've got to give him glory. We've got to give him honor. Anybody grateful this morning for our Christ? Anybody grateful this morning for our Jesus? Thank you, Jesus. And so here's my praise. There is a fountain filled with blood drawn from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunge